Hey YouTube, this is Itchy. It's 3:59 a.m. on Friday, December 2nd, and the last 2 days we've had some strange lights and things going on over at the Fukushima plant. There was a bit of escalation in these light events today with the possibility of a fuel fire, and I've been visiting other forums today, seeing what other people are saying about this, and I've heard anything from this being some type of emergency beacon to possibly the venting of hydrogen, which we know is a problem right now in at least reactor 2, possibly reactor 1, or there could have been the disturbance of some radioactive material, possibly fuel rods, fell on the ground after the reactor 3 explosion, because last week robots went into reactor 3, and after they were in this area, the radiation levels actually jumped 3 times of what they had been. We don't have any explanation from TEPCO about why this has occurred, but it is making work around this reactor and on the grounds very difficult for the workers because of the levels. And at a certain point, machines don't work either. That's why these robots keep going into the reactors and they don't come out again. Some of the Geigers aren't even able to measure because the radiation's off scale, and there's been occurrences in the past where TEPCO has flown small drone planes over the reactors. One of them crashed into the roof of reactor 2 back in May. At a certain point, machines aren't going to work, which makes the situation even more difficult to manage. Earlier in the day, and possibly with the addition or subtraction of some filters over the camera. And I apologize for the blurriness. This camera usually is not this blurry. These were some flashes that were going on in the daylight, and at times it appears that there's also some green flashing. I'll put links to these videos at the bottom so you can look them over for yourself. But I was interested in what might cause green during a fire, and I knew copper was one of the elements, but what I found out also burns green, something called chromium, and it just so happens that zirconium cladding, which is what comprises the actual fuel rod. It's the outside covering of all these little uranium pellets that are inside. It is one of the alloys that are used to make fuel rods. If there is some type of uranium fission going on, it's important to keep in mind that uranium splits into more uranium, which splits into more uranium. And the danger there is that this type of chain reaction could infect the spent fuel pools that are on site. And in total, estimations are that there are 600,000 fuel rods. That includes all the spent fuel pools and a common spent fuel pool that is in the ground, far away from the reactors. So we need to take a look at the jet stream right now, and assuming that, of course, you have to assume the worst. If there's a possibility of a fire going on at a nuke plant, yeah, it could be a beacon, it could be some kind of light, but it's really difficult to judge, and especially without any word from the company that's running the site. Any type of releases are going to be in this jet stream, and I'll run through this in a moment, but I first had a look at the storm surge forecast So what's coming out of Japan is actually going to miss Hawaii, but it's really going to hit Alaska, including Anchorage, Juneau, Yukon. I don't know my west coast of Canada too well, but Vancouver, Alberta, Edmonton, Calgary is in this area. Let's go back to the jet stream for the states, and I'll scroll through this slowly. It actually looks like a majority of it is going to be missing the west coast for a change, but it's going to be hitting Idaho, Montana, Utah, Nevada, Wyoming, and then probably by the time it gets here, I'll be posting another video. I wanted to take a look here too at what the precipitation is forecasted for this part of Canada and Alaska, and this is where the heaviest rain is supposed to be over the next 7 days. So these areas will need to exercise extreme caution. And the NOAA 5-day forecast is indicating that the highest rainfall is going to be here. I don't think that this jet stream carrying whatever releases from the past 1-2 days of fires, possible fires, is going to reach this far. Like I said, again, we'll do another forecast before it gets to this point. But again, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona. Got those switched. Texas. We're all going to have to keep on top of this. So that's all I have for right now. I'll be keeping an eye on this. I will post my Facebook page again, where not only I but others are now posting updates on here throughout the day. So if you want some current information, you can look at this page or any news. And of course, there'll be people on YouTube putting out videos as more information comes out. And that's all we can do, and keep spreading the word, let people know, especially if they live in Canada, because I know Canadians are getting very little, if any, information, certainly nothing from their government about the radiation status there. So if you've got friends in that area, friends on Facebook, you know, post this on their page so they can pass it around too. And it's not teenagers and young adults that I'm as worried about. I'm more worried about pregnant women and babies, small children, anyone who has cells dividing, anybody whose immune systems are compromised. The elderly and sick are going to be more at risk and more susceptible. So those are the people that we really need to watch out for. Stay safe, everyone. I'll update you soon.